Hello YouTubers, and today I am going to be reviewing the Dapol Marx Dalek. So, yes, this is the Dapol exact reproduction of the Louis Marx Dalek from the 60s. So, we'll take a look at the packaging first. So you can see it's in a really nice retro scan. This was retro for the time because this came out during the 90s. So basically, what this is that during the 1990s, when Dapol made Doctor Who figures, they acquired the license and the moulds to make reproductions of the original 1960s Louis Marx Daleks. So you can see here, I've got a nice lovely picture of a Dalek on the box, which is really nice. It says, "The Mysterious Daleks, battery operated with amazing robot action. From the BBC television series Doctor Who." Yes, I have to say it in that voice. See here, Marx Toys, with a nice weird little logo here. Same information again. Same on the top, but you can see it says special limited edition because these are limited edition ones. I think there's 4 different colours to collect: gold, black, silver, and I think there was a yellow one. So as you can see here, this is my number, which is 1991 out of 10,000, and this is the gold one. See a nice little illustration, and you can see here, made by Dapol, all using the original rules of the Marx toy models. So yeah, so this is the Louis Marx Dalek, and he's got a massive base. It almost looks like a Dalek base in almost reverse. But yeah, this is basically like your typical kind of 60s toy, because you know this is just an exact reproduction. The only difference is that this uses, they had to modify the battery compartment so that it could take 2 AA batteries. I think the original took a C battery, but they were slightly thinner back then. They didn't have like a label on like they do today. But let's just take a look at this thing. So we'll take a look at the eye stalk first. Now I believe the eye stalk may not be exactly the same as the original one, so maybe it is, I don't know. But you can see here it's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 rings, which is weird. So yeah, it's almost right. In fact, the eye is probably the most one of the most accurate things about this Dalek, because basically, and you can see on the top here the 2 dome lights, which are just completely flat, and on the top, and I mean, this is incredibly inaccurate, but since it's a retro toy in that's fine. It's got a really flat head. It just all seems to be sort of squashed up into the top, almost like they ran out of room. You can see the next section here, which is made of a translucent red plastic on this one. There was also one with I think the silver one has a translucent blue plastic, but I don't know if you can see inside there. Yeah, you can just about see it here. There's an actual bulb inside. I think it might be an LED on this one, but on the original 1960s one, it was an actual old-fashioned bulb, the kind that they don't use anymore anywhere, the ones that you can no longer get. But this one, I think it might be. I think it's 2 LEDs inside. It's a bit hard to tell. But anyway. We take a look. They have got the shoulder section is probably the only thing that's probably mostly correctly proportionate. You can see we've got the 2 bangs going along here. Obviously, this is based on the original Dalek design from the Daleks. You can see it goes a bit weird at the back, so it almost points out a bit. But they've also got little details like the little rivet. It's on here though. The top bits, I don't think they should have. These Daleks shouldn't actually have rivets at the top there, I don't believe. I don't remember seeing on the original design. No, they didn't have it. But they did add it in later, so it's a bit weird. And then we've got the base, which is hilariously large. It is absolutely, you know, it is so wide. I mean, if you look at it like that, it looks alright. But then, if you look at the bottom, just look how huge it is. It is massively wide. And then it sort of all gets crushed up from the back. I mean, look at it if you look at it from certain angles, if you look at it like that, it doesn't look too bad. If you look at it like that, you know, it looks absolutely enormously wide. On camera it doesn't look too bad, but in real life it is really wide. It just looks absolutely hilarious. It looks, you know, it's even wider than Davros's chair was, but yeah, have they got... But if we just take a look at the sucker arm, you can see here we've actually got a piece of plastic poking through there, because this is actually the sucker part here is actually a separate piece of plastic that is clipped onto the pole section. That's just clipped on over the top like that. And these are really removed. These don't even click in. They just slide in. And nothing actually holds them in. There's no clicks or snaps or anything. You know, they literally are just held. You literally just put them in like that. I assume that probably at the time some people may have glued them in, but I'm not going to. But actually, the fact that they are so easily removable allows me to remove it to get a better look at it. The gun is pretty good, actually. You can see the individual struts going up and the discs along it as well. The gun is pretty good, and you know, so is the sucker arm is pretty good as well. I mean, the bit at the end, you couldn't really help it because they didn't have the technology to mould it all as one piece, so that's why it's done like that. So, you know, the eye does look a bit too small, and these look too large. Yeah, the proportions from the Louis Marx Daleks were no good, but overall, Dapol, you know, just took the moulds and just redid it. If we take a look at the bottom, you can tell this is an old-fashioned toy because Dapol didn't change the switch on it, though. The switch is exactly the same. It's I believe it's not actually like your current like plastic switch on and off or button. It's actually a metal piece just there. So when you switch it into this position, it makes contact with the battery. So if we just... Ooh. There we go. So you see this spins round and this starts, and these lights start to flash. And if you let it on, it goes in all sorts of directions. We'll just take that off because I don't want it going all over the place. But you can see there that it basically just goes around in random motions. Basically, this, you know, it's not like a bump and go toy because there aren't any bump and go or any sensors on it, so it can literally crash into anything, which was a problem with these Daleks back in the day. And the seller I bought this from said that this section here was actually cracked off. I did super glue it back on, so actually, unless you really look, you can see just a little crack around there. You can't actually tell. That's why I managed to get this thing so cheaply. I got it for just £20 plus delivery. But it is a really nice Dalek. If I just move the camera back out of the way here, I'm going to let the Dalek loose. So, with its realistic robot action, here it goes. It doesn't move too well on carpet, but it does do pretty well on carpet. It actually managed to switch its own switch off just there, which is a bit funny. It managed to switch itself off. It's yeah, it's a nice little fun feature. Though be warned, if you do put it on a table, nothing is to stop it from simply going off the table and things being snapped. Especially, I've noticed on some bills, if the eye snaps off, it is very difficult. If there's a piece of plastic still in there to actually get it out. But overall, I really do like this. It's a nice little retro toy. You know, if you judge it in terms of detail, then it will probably score maybe a 1 or a 2. But it is. Remember, this was a fun little toy back in the day. It must have been really fun for the kids back then. And today and then when it was re-released, it would have been back in the 1990s. It were being a fun toy then as well, and also a nice collectible. And it's still a really nice collectible today. If you can find one for a good price, then I highly recommend it. But these things can go for an awful lot of money. Even the Dapol ones, that since they are an exact reproduction, they can go up to, you can be talking about up to £100 for one of these. Just to note, there are reproductions of the eye, the gun, and the sucker available on eBay for quite easily. I think you can buy the eye, the gun, and the plunger for about a tenner for reproductions of those. If you find a one that doesn't have an eye, a gun, or a plunger, if you find that, then buy it, and then it's pretty easy to get a reproduction of these. But of the actual Dalek itself, there you go. But overall, that's it for this review. I hope you enjoyed it, and next time I will be reviewing some more Product Enterprise Daleks. And again, apologies for no review last week. I was actually waiting for this to come in the post, along with some other stuff. So overall, thank you for watching this review. If there's anything you would like me to review, please put it in the comments below, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.